didn't know if I shot him or just the gun went off.
The gun went off, right? You can at least acknowledge that.
Yes.
Here you go, part of the riveting testimony from yesterday. Jodi Arias, emotional really throughout the day as Juan Martinez was relentless once again. And here's the question. Out of all that, as he wrapped up his cross-examination not long after what you just saw there, did he completely decimate her? Does she sit before that jury a broken fraud, a murderer, or does the jury potentially have sympathy for her as she's crying there on the witness stand? Joining us, friend of the program, attorney John Manuelian. John, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mike.
Hey, well, tell me, what are your thoughts there? Did Juan Martinez hit the home run or not?
You know, I don't make these kind of calls anymore. Last time I made a call like this, Casey Anthony was acquitted. But I can tell you it's going to depend on the jury demographic. Look, Mike, you don't need to shoot a fly with a cannon. And I have a problem with Martinez's style. He's really aggressive. And all it takes is one juror, just one juror to get turned off to his style and to get confused on the issues. And then you got a hung jury. So really, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what the rest of the testimony is going to bring out.
So, okay, on the pro for Martinez, yes, he was relentless and sometimes got in the weeds with Arias, but that meticulous, persistent style, it broke her down. And probably, potentially anyway, we'll see what the jury has to say. A lot of members of that jury are saying her story doesn't add up. And she's finally, the jig's up, and that's why she's crying. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you, but you could do it in a different way. He could do it in succinctly asked questions. And he could tie it up in the closing argument. Remember, Mike, the purpose of the cross-examination is to bring out the inconsistencies, and that's all you need to do. This going back and dancing with the witness, you know, it makes for good theater, it makes for good television, but it's not necessary. It's completely overzealous prosecution, and again, you run the risk of a juror getting turned off, and that's exactly what you don't want to do.
Okay, beyond the emotion, through all the meticulous testimony, because in the midst of those weeds, you may have premeditation. At least that's what he's hoping for, that she planned this out and planned to kill. Did he get there?
I think so. I think he got there. Remember, you know, she bought the gun, or the grandma lost the gun. So, and then coincidentally, she has a gun at Travis Alexander's house. She's very foggy on the facts as far as, you know, deleting the photos, and that can't be explained. You know, what he needs to do right now, Martinez needs to do, is tell the jury, look, it's all too convenient. She remembers everything that she wants to remember, but the important facts she forgets. Why? Because she's lying. And that's all you need to do. This tit for tat going back and forth, well, you said this before, and didn't you hear my question? And the well. I mean, he keeps going over, well, ma'am. He seems frustrated. He seems like his cage is rattled. And you don't want to seem like your cage is rattled when you're a prosecutor, because it makes the jurors scratch their head and say, well, maybe Martinez doesn't have the whole story straight, and maybe I don't know what's going on. And remember, all you do need is just that one juror.
Got it. Okay. Well, here's the question to you, and John's going to hang around and help us answer some of your questions. We'll take your calls. What do you think of Juan Martinez's cross-examination of Jodi Arias? Did he come off as a bully? Maybe somebody sympathetic to her on that jury, or did he completely decimate her and the jurors thinking, yep, she's a murderer?
I only saw one picture.
Right, you saw him do that. That's a lie, isn't it, ma'am?
Do you have an argument?
I wish it was a lie. It's
And
not.
man with the gun.
There you go. That's Juan Martinez wrapping up his cross-examination, and he circled back to rehabilitate the victim one more time, Travis Alexander, telling her he wasn't into child porn. That was a lie. He wasn't overbearing. That was a lie. Did he win or not? What did you think of Juan Martinez's cross-examination? Is it game, set, and match? Is she done or not? Our defense attorney, our expert, John Manuelian, hanging with us here to answer some of your questions. John, we're going to go to the phones, and we'll kick it around here as folks have been watching this so intensely. Lorraine is with us. Kentucky. Lorraine, what's your comment or question?
I think the prosecutor, he did a great job, and I can't wait for the home run to see what he says. I don't want her to go to death penalty, but life imprisonment would be fine with me.
Okay, so you never got bored as they were yelling at each other and bickering back and forth. You never got frustrated with that, Lorraine?
Absolutely not. I wanted to listen to every word the prosecutor had to say and see how many lies she would tell.
There you go. Lorraine, thanks for the call. John, what about that? So Lorraine's saying all of that mattered. All of that led to breaking her down as a liar, and her stories are crap.
Yeah, that was Lorraine. But remember, there's 11 other jurors on the panel, and we don't know what they're thinking. And you know, again, Mike, the name of the game is reasonable doubt. All the defense needs to prove in this case is that there's some sort of reasonable explanation for everything. And the defense, from my understanding, is going to present a domestic violence expert at this point in time to explain that Jodi was a victim of domestic violence.
Right.
So as long as they could explain the inconsistencies, I think the defense has a shot at least a hung jury in this matter.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That is still to come. The defense experts can also explain the blackout as she's killing Travis Alexander. Let's get another call in. Diane's with us, New Jersey. Hey, Diane. Comment? Question?
Hi.
Hey.
I kind of disagree. I think although she's guilty, I think the sympathy from the prosecutor's badgering is going to weaken the jury, and I am sure she's not going to get the death penalty.
Wow. How about that, John? So Diane is saying the sympathy. So she's crying there on the stand. There could be, and you pointed it out too, one or two jurors that are saying this guy's just a bully.
And you see, Lorraine, the other caller, called in, said she was pro-prosecution, and Diane said that all this badgering is affecting her. And that's the whole dynamic of the jury. You need it to be unanimous, and that is a very tough job to do. And again, reasonable doubt is the highest level of certainty. These people know that when they vote guilty, that there's a good chance that this girl, Jodi Arias, is going to get the death penalty. That's something hard for them to put on their conscience, so they're going to weigh all the evidence very carefully.
Okay, so far it's 1-1. We want to know what you think. What'd you think of Juan Martinez's cross-examination? Did he decimate the defendant, Jodi Arias, or not? Taking your calls, 1-877-TEL-HLN.
If she were a woman of domestic violence, she wouldn't be cocky to the prosecutor.
There you go.
She would be afraid.
Very, very astute point, Roz. And a couple other folks have made that point on our Facebook page. Wait a minute. You're this frail little wallflower, but yet you can stand up to Juan Martinez. That's quite a contradiction, John Manuelian, isn't it? Or could be for a juror.
Sure. And, you know, good thing for Jodi Arias that the majority of the jurors, the pool makeup is males, because if it was females, you'd get a lot of responses like the callers that just called in, understanding domestic violence. So that's one good thing going for her, Mike.
Got it. Okay. Hey, let's get back to the phones. Dennis is with us, Indiana. Hey, Dennis, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty much got the same comment she did, except I think Juan Martinez is speaking for Travis. You know, some of these defense attorneys that come on Jane and Nancy say three lies is as good as 30. You prove she's a liar, but that's not what he's doing. He's proven that Travis Alexander is not the person that Jodi has made him out to be. And also, I think Jodi thought she got away with the perfect crime until she realized she had blood on her hands. And then she knew she screwed up. So that's when she really started trying to hide everything and
right.
go on that, you know. So she if she wouldn't have got blood on her hands, she probably would have gotten away with it. But
wow.
once they found the blood on her hands, she was done.
Dennis, thanks for the call. Thanks, everyone, for calling in on this one. And, John, thank you as well. And you point out, and I know my colleague Jane Velez-Mitchell, she had a poll saying 94% side with Juan Martinez, but 6%, that could constitute the one juror, right? That could be the one.
All it takes is one, Mike.
Yeah, nice job, John. Good seeing you again, by the way. And
thank you, Mike.
Hey, you know, so much to talk about. You know, we've just scratched the surface with this trial.